Welcome everyone. Happy Sunday, September 13th, 2020. You are here on the American's Voice, and absolutely I am your captain on deck, ready to serve you all of the good truth that you starve for every single day of the week until Sunday, till we get to meet here. Absolutely. Glad to have you guys here on this Sunday morning, hanging out with your host here on our show. This is our program, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I love how we, so many people are able to do things and create things and utilize their craft to where people are able to partake. They're able to enjoy, dive into what you're able to bring to the table. But at the same time, this show here exists because of you guys. So this is a thanks and a big heart-filled, full of gratitude for all the subscribers and the way you guys communicate and, just giving you the support that we need here to keep this program going. So I think about you guys all throughout the week. So I'm always excited when I get a chance, chomping at the bit to get before this microphone or get behind this microphone and actually represent and box with the rest of them. It's kind of weird, though. The show's been around since July, and last week we celebrated our 10th episode, just quietly. And so you guys absolutely now, this here is our 11th episode this week. And so we're moving along and getting good feedback, great good feedback. And so we want to continue to keep the content raw, unhinged, just like I said before, and make sure we set all of those liberals in place, because absolutely, of course, we have people that come here to hear my unique perspective on the way these lefties think. But, we got some things to get off into. But before we get on to that, though, this is a place, like I say, everybody's views are welcome, but mainly mine. You can now find episodes also on SoundCloud, that platform as well. And in America's Heartbeat, you can hit us over on the America's Heartbeat at over on Parler. That's America's Heartbeat 1 over at Parler. And the email address is at americasheartbeat@yahoo.com, americasheartbeat@yahoo.com. You guys drop an email there, right there, too, as well. We love your feedback and input and stuff like that, too. So just moving on, I was looking at last night, the president had a rally in our state here of Nevada. It's so funny. When you hear the president or people come in certain places. Now, Nevada isn't that big, but they said, well, he's holding a rally in Nevada. And so I think, obviously, not, Las Vegas, or sometimes you think Reno, but I'm thinking Las Vegas off the bat, up front. And, I don't see any shift in traffic or anything weird or strange or anything like that. And then I look up and see where it's at. It's in Minden, Nevada. I was like, where the heck is that at? Probably somewhere in the backwoods, but it doesn't matter if it's in the backwoods or not. Because let me tell you why. The Trump supporters come out in droves. And I'm going to do a temporary, a partial dismantling of Mr. Biden, because he's been misbehaving the last few days out here on the campaign trail, him and his teleprompter. Can't even have an interview. But anyways, all that stuff will come out to the light, and we'll enjoy a good laugh and at the same time. But they came out, and you see the crowds. I was driving down the street the other day in Summerlin, and I happened to look to the left, and I looked up at this, I think it was a condo type deal there, right by the freeway. And there was a Trump flag there, a huge one, big as day. And I thought to myself, I was like, I've never seen a Biden flag. It's one of those things like, remember Arsenio Hall back in the day? He had that thing he would say, things that make you say, Yeah, it was that. But these guys are coming out, and it's so funny because up here in the Summerlin area, out here in Nevada, it's higher class or upper middle class, and then some higher class areas up there. Some pretty wealthy people there. But when you look at driving through there from time to time, like the 4th of July, flags everywhere. It is a very patriotic little town. It's surprising it being in Las Vegas. But the Trump supporters come out just the same. But Trump was on the trail last night, and he holds a rally in Nevada. Over on Breitbart, they big bold letters. Democrats are trying to rig the election, and this is true. Trump is always not too far from the truth. He gets these Democrats going because he's always hovering over the target. And they deny it to the hilt. And then many months later, you have the left-wing media changing, moving the puzzle pieces around. You ever get those puzzles back in the day when you were younger? And you get the basic ones? Well, let me tell you the puzzle that the Democratic Party is playing with. They're playing with a very simple puzzle. But I'll talk about their simple puzzle in just a second, okay? But they want to make things complex, like a 1,000-piece puzzle. You put that puzzle out there and you look in and it's like, okay, I got to see trees over here. And what is that, an old historic building? Oh, nice statues. I like the statues. Oh, too bad that thing ain't there no more. It's like those statue pullers pull that one down. Well, I guess I'm going to enjoy putting this puzzle together here, even though that's not really accurate anymore. But and here comes a Democrat, a lefty. And, hey, what are you doing over here, Joe? Oh, I'm just putting this puzzle together here. Oh, nice puzzle. How long you been working on it? Oh, I've been working on it for about a week. Oh, man. Too bad. Too bad. What do you mean? Well, because I got to do this. And he messes the whole puzzle up. Just scrabbles everything up. And so Joe being a conservative, he's kicking back and chilling. He doesn't get up and punch the guy in the face. He's like, oh, come on. And he's calm. And so that's what they do. But they're playing with the puzzle too. And their puzzle has 7 pieces. And for some reason, the reason why they want to come and mess up the American people's puzzle, they want to mess up your puzzle with restrictions, mandates, more laws, more taking away of your liberties, more gun control, so to speak, which doesn't exist. They want to come and disrupt all that. But they have a 7-piece puzzle themselves that they have, and they've never put it together. I think at best, one of their top candidates probably got 2 pieces together. It's 7 pieces, fellas. 7 pieces. And you can't put that together. Anyways, that's their problem. But Joe is pathetic. And look, I know he's someone's grandfather, guys. So don't get on me about this one here. I'm sure he's a nice guy. Someone you want to have a cup of tea with or something like that. And some Geritol. Okay? But right now, we're looking to defeat all of these leftists that are attempting to turn this country upside down. So everyone's fair game. Whether your name is Joe, whether your name is Flo, whether your name is Mo, it doesn't matter. Pick your O, okay? Pick it. Because you guys are trying to turn this country into socialist, Marxist, okay, communist, all the that we don't want. We want liberty, freedom, okay, from all the dumb stuff. But it says here he trolls, and he deserves extra years because how the Dems treated him. Now, their heads got to be exploded from this, folks. Check this out. This one here. When Trump says stuff like that, when he says things like that, that reinforces their narrative that he's going to try to stay in office and they're going to have to come and force him out. That's their narrative. That's their story. But it's all pathetic. So But I've thought about that. I know you guys have too. Deserving more years. Think about the Mueller report. Who started that? Trump didn't. Because Trump had a certain view of life. And you guys, every week you're talking about Trump. Let me tell you what. We have an election to win. And we have people to inform. So sit down and shut it up. Okay, let's continue. But that's how I've always felt. And some people say that's not fair. But let me tell you what, guys. Every single thing you can throw humanly at any human being, it's been thrown at this man. And look, the guy's not savory to the taste all the time. Let's be honest here. But he is still the commander-in-chief. And that's how you can tell the true patriotic American. It doesn't matter who's occupying the White House. They might have a problem with the occupant, whether it be Obama or Clinton or Bush or pick your past president. Okay? They still respect the office of president, because I had problems with Obama. I had serious problems with Obama. But Obama was still my president. Weak? Yes. Feeble? Yes. Smart? Yes. My president? Yes. And to be in the position that I'm in, I can say that proudly as an American. He won fair and square. But here's Donald Trump, though. Those extra years that were taken from him. Being hounded by Mueller. Being hounded by the intelligence agencies. You guys remember when Trump first came into office? 2017. And the way he dealt with the intelligence agencies, he had them on, they were on edge, because he told it like it was. He shot it straight, and he rubbed some people the wrong way. Some people might say, if you read leadership books, not the way you want to enter into Washington. But Trump had an agenda. His agenda was to drain the swamp. Do you guys remember those words? Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. So powerful, right? Draining the swamp was Trump's number one agenda item. Number two, building that wall. Getting that border protected. Let me ask you guys a question on this Sunday morning, while you're still drinking your coffee and enjoying your egg sandwich or something like that. Okay? Trump came to do what he said he was going to do. They thought he was going to change when he came to Washington, but it didn't happen. And in fact, to me, I never thought that. For some reason, I knew when he was going to go there and change. Not. He didn't. Just as we assumed. And so, here we have it. They've tried every single thing to get this man out of office. They've tried every single tactic. Fail. And you know what? He's still here. And he's gonna win again. And so, when we get back, we're going to start to move off into the program. Just had to spend some time with you guys this Sunday morning, because, hey, it's our show. So we can talk about what we want to talk about and what's important to us. So we're in for smooth sailing and an incredibly good time here with your great entertainer, Yanni, on the American's Voice. See you guys in 2. Stay right there.
Just breathe and lower the barricade. It's new to leave it alone. I am only scared that I am a known. It's not a matter of fact, an illusion. Things are said to your back sound stupid. It's just a figure of speech. Seen through your eyes, thinking you should relax. It's just nothing. This isn't good for your head.
morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday to everyone. The sun is up and we're having a great time here on the American's Voice, where we, yes, every single week, we have the Vulcan Mind Meld via internet radio and fire it up for you guys to roll with us on this Sunday. All right. Okay, let's continue. Well, getting back to, the order of last week, President Trump keeps the news cycle moving. Last week I was talking about Trump, the employer and counterpuncher. I was talking about his ability to buzz up business. Of course, obviously, he's a businessman. But he drums up that business also for his enemies. CNN and MSNBC, all those cast of character, or those gang of thugs that are attempting to muzzle the truth from coming out. And they're like the opposite of journalists. Okay, they're like journalists. They're not journalists. Put an N in front. They're journalists. Put an N in front of that, because they don't tell the truth. They do the opposite. But Trump drums up business for them week in and week out, day in and day out. And I believe that once Trump is out of office, that CNN and all those rest of those guys, they're going to disappear, or their ratings going to really, really drop like a stone. And it's surprising how, compared to Fox, and you put them up against Fox News, they're not even close. Fox News prime time, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, Shannon Breen, but the first three are really, really the heavy hitters, and they're pretty much the anchors of that network now. I remember when Laura Ingraham left talk radio, and I was pretty sad about that. I was living in the Portland area at the time. I think she had left in 2019, September 2019 or something like that. And she's went on to television and blooming and blossoming, and we really appreciate having her there. She's one of my favorites on Fox News. But Trump drums up that business for them, and he keeps them that hatred machine going. He keeps them going. They make up another lie. He says something and they twist the words. Trump is the first person I've ever seen to where if he says, "How you doing?" they will sit and convert it, and it says, "I hate you." They're like, "No, I said I hate you. I didn't say that to you." What? And then you turn to the person. You say, "What did I just say to? What did I just say to him?" And they'll say, "Well, Mr. President, you said hello." And then the guy over there, that leftist that he is, because a whole lot of them flaming out there coming out of college nowadays. So sad. They either have to be turned over their parents' knee, but they'll say, "He said he hates me." And so that's kind of what we're dealing with. But you have Chicago, the mayor there. She's been having some mental issues. And when you see this lady talk, it seems like she has some mental issues upstairs. Something's not right there. Maybe she needs to have a cognitive test too. That's what I say. But with all the crime and all of the murder and the killing by black people, oh yeah, and we're going to get on them in a little bit later here in the program. Black people, we need to really check ourselves, because all the years of looking at boys in the hood, all the years of experiencing menace to society in real life on the streets, all the years of colors, all this garbage that we experience on these ghetto streets that are polluted with drugs, gangs, unwanted pregnancies, childless, fatherless, motherless homes, both. This is what we deal with. And now it's time to say time out and take a chill pill. I believe that the American people want us all to take a time out and take a chill pill and start to join the rest of society and be productive and do something with your life. Yes, you can be black and educated. Yes, you can be black and have common sense. You can have a moral compass about yourself. You don't have to have your pants hanging halfway down your freaking rear end. You know what I'm talking about, right, guys? Wearing a belt and your pants are still halfway down your rear end. Anyways, But in Chicago, those types of people are there. But over at Breitbart, it said, brim tilt to them. Breitbart does a wonderful job distributing the news and keeping people informed out there, especially like me when you're on the go. It's kind of like a cup of coffee on the go or a smoothie. But it says Chicago's Fraternal Order of Police endorses Donald Trump for re-election. The Fraternal Order of Police Chicago chapter announced it has endorsed President Donald Trump for re-election in November. The police union's board of directors voted on September 2nd to back the president, according to NTD. Following the announcement, the chapter president, John Cortanzara, said of Trump, "I will do whatever I can for him. But there's definitely people who are not going to be happy about it. There are more Democrats locally speaking, but there's even some Democrats who would agree with the current president. He has been very good for the employment of law enforcement these days," he noted. See right there, guys? He's even good for law enforcement. Trump is a magnet for business. And here's the thing we should appreciate. Just like the late Kobe Bean Bryant, we appreciated him when he was on the court. And we started to appreciate him after he left the game. And then tragedy struck in January, and he was taken from us. And you really missed that. The same thing with President Trump. I'm trying to drive this point through the thickness. Even though it might not penetrate, we might need one of those drills like they had on that Armageddon movie to penetrate the die-cast steel, which is the skull that the leftists occupy. And inside is that brain, which is the size of a pea. Okay? Anyways, let me get off that one. But these cops are starting to endorse Trump. Trump is establishing himself as the law and order president. He has an agenda. He has a direction. You can call him stupid if you want to, but it's right here, right in black and white, right in the public domain. They want him for another 4 years because they understand, they see what's on the horizon. They see the Constitution on the brink of being torn and ripped forever, kind of like Nancy Pelosi did. Remember at the State of the Union address, she sat there and ripped up the speech like a 3-year-old, like she was completely oblivious or clueless of what she was doing. Here's a woman 80 years old and behaving like a child. Everyone, let's clap our hands, because I think you guys want her to leave, don't you guys? Yeah, get her the hell out of here. You're fired. Do her just like The Apprentice. Yeah, get her out of here. Trump, that's what Trump does. You got those guys that come in there and they're the hecklers inside of the rally. And that's just like classic television. Jerry Springer ain't got nothing on this. Maury Povich, all those guys that have to get real trashy down in the gutter, which most of the people that are liberal in their thinking think Trump is. No, Trump is just a fighter. And there's nothing wrong with fighting. You have to admire a person that fights and gets down there and dirty. But we definitely need a change in our leadership in this country. Absolutely. I was looking at another article. Because of the unrest, which it's some things in pockets are brewing, it's brewing and simmering down because the law enforcement, one, is stepping up. Two, the president's giving help, unlike Chicago. But him going to Chicago, him going to Kenosha, we'll talk about that in just a little bit here too as well, because that's a hot topic too. It changes the dynamic of the campaign. But the unrest that's going on, people are getting bold with our law enforcement out here. This defund movement is one of the most dangerous, diabolical, sinister acts that we've created and allowed to fester in this country. Absolutely. It's unnecessary. I have a real good friend that's a part of a SWAT team unit, and pray for them frequently. Him and his wife, fantastic couple out here in the Las Vegas region. But it's imperative that we pray for our men in blue. It says here the two LA sheriff's deputies ambushed, shot without warning or provocation. So let that kind of just marinate in your dome, in your chrome dome there. The brain that God gave you. The two ears he allowed you to hear information, process it, and make a calculated decision, which most people have the ability to do, but we haven't been taught that in school. But they're going after these cops. And just imagine if it's one of your loved ones. And you say, well, I don't have cops in my family. Well, how'd he do? Okay? You don't have cops in your family, but someone else, that's someone else's loved one. That's someone else's dad, their mother, their cousin. And these headshots that they've been doing for many, many years, and this stuff started under Obama. Let's tag the tail on the donkey. I've not played that game in a long time. But how about we play that this Sunday? Tagging the tail on the donkey. You're it, okay? Because a lot of these guys that has put this crap together in this country, the way that it's designed and set up, the agenda that's being pushed, the money that's being funneled into these front groups that are out there, they don't even pick it anymore. You give them a sign, they're going to throw it by a bush. Let's go burn something. I'm telling you. Okay, listen to me, John. John, you're going to be a good protester today. You're going to just, make sure you rough the guys up just a little bit, right? Here goes your sign, John. Okay, Mr. Soros. John goes out on the street. First bush John sees, he tucks the sign behind the bush, and he goes and finds something a window to break or something to burn. Okay? And so it's getting dangerous out there. So these cops are now starting to understand. The man that we made fun of when we were in the locker room, when he first became president, because I'm sure there were some of those guys that were never Trumpers. The man that we made fun of, the one that's a big old heel. Yeah, that orange guy sitting there. We now kind of see he's the only line of defense. He's the only person standing here between us and people blowing our cap off while we're sitting down trying to eat our sub that our Italian wife made for us while we're right here in one of the boroughs of New York. This is America that we're living in right now. And you guys should be really scared because ignorance is not bliss. But this media complex has been going on for a long time. We have to wake up and understand that journalism has been dead for quite some time. And so who hits the pots and pans? Who rings the bells? Us, the Americans people. Thus, the American's voice is active and alive out there. So fired up for that opportunity to be available. So they were shot. They ambushed Saturday in their patrol cars in Compton on Saturday evening. They were rushed to the hospital. There is a tweet here. I don't know who this is from. Oh, from the sheriff's. A tweet. And the tweet says, moments ago, 2 of our sheriff deputies were shot in Compton and were transported to the local hospital. They were both still fighting for their lives. Ladies and gentlemen, that is someone's loved one. You understand how stupid, how crazy this is? I look at police officers, even though the job is dangerous, but to me it's like a sandwich shop, a hamburger shop. Someone going to do their job to receive compensation for their work. But the policing, there's more of a passion attached to that there. Realistically, I've never wanted to be a cop or chasing down criminals. I mean, it's all good and fine and dandy when you're 12 years old and you're playing cops and robbers. And the projectiles that are coming your direction are little high pink or orange stems with suction cups on the front of them. They stick to the windows. You guys remember those? That was so much fun back in the day. No, on the streets, there are projectiles that you can't see. They go so fast. And they do mortal damage to anyone. I don't care how much you weigh, how many weights you lift. If a person's lifting a nice little snub nose, and you've been training all week in the gym, who's going to win out? Yeah, that little snub nose is. But he says they're fighting for their lives, so please keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and we will update this thread with information as soon as it becomes available. And so we have to remain prayerful in this country too as well. The reason why I get behind this mic every single week with more passion, more fire, more fervent, wanting to give more content, deliver more of a powerful, impactful message that's going to inspire Americans to be activists, not for a particular president, for a particular party, but be activists for yourself and for God and country. You believe and know that there's a strong faith that you have in your life, but you have to protect your country. And there is an agenda that's a worldwide agenda that's looking to suffocate us and take us under forever and permanently. So we're going to continue to skim the cream off of the top. But the cream we're skimming off the top here is crap. And we're going to expose every single one of these frauds every single time, week in and week out, us together as a unit. That's our responsibility. And so when I get back, we're going to jump onto some other topics, and we're going to have a great hot dog of a time if you eat hot dogs. Hebrew Nationals will be right back in 2. I am your host, and you're here on The American's Voice. Let's go.
Ain't nothing new to me. You could bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a morgue, but you can't bring the truth to me. You ain't all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. I recognize your false confidence and calculated promises all in your conversation. I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy cause I ain't invite you. Oh, you important, you the moral to the story. You endorsing, motherfucker, I don't even like you. Corrupt a man's heart with a gift. That's how you find out who you dealing with. A smart percentage you I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or I'm winning. On my mama, that's the realest shit.
Let's talk about love. Is it anything and everything you hope for? Or do you feel it on you? I know the feeling on you.
Cause maybe the night them more trees might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. Cause maybe the night them more trees might let me know. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. All the stars are closer. Skin cold when the ego gets to talking. I get involved like a rebound. Got no in game, got no ways out. Got to stay down. It's the way that you're making me feel like nobody ever loved me like you do, you do. And you kinda feel like you're tryna get away from me. If you do, I won't move. I ain't described for no reason.
Hey. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished and in great company here on The American's Voice on this beautiful, glorious Sunday. Glad to have you guys here, and glad you guys stayed glued to your seats and, give me an opportunity to entertain you guys via information. So, want to get off into this Mueller thing. Mueller, this Mueller thing has been a thorn in America's side for quite some time now. And the behavior of Hillary Rotten Clinton, erased phones, Blackberries. Hillary Rotten Clinton, she deleted emails. And you guys, I've deleted emails before. Sometimes you have that little spam one there and some thousands get built up. And mind you guys, those spam emails can really, really build. They really can build up, so big. It's like one day, for instance, you check your email, right? Not a problem. You leave, you go handle business, living your life. Your email's in this room. Come back a couple days later, he go in the room, he's like, feel some resistance there, right? Try to get in the room, you break in the room, and there's emails just filled up, the whole room filled with emails. Junk email. Trying to drown you. You got to get out the room. Someone got to come with a vacuum and suck them back out, back into the thing there. But she got rid of that many emails, 30,000, over 30,000, and said they were wedding photos. Let me tell you something. No particular offense to Hillary Clinton. Now, Chelsea ain't a bad looking young lady, but she's not the pride princess that you have writing in the carriage there. She's probably writing in the pumpkin. And so what I'm saying is 30,000 emails to focus on her. Well, every frog loves his own pond. And so we'll leave it at that. But Mueller, his team did the same thing, it says, accidentally. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Put yourself in a position of being someone under the microscope of the Mueller team. Andrew Wiseman, the pit bull, Stroke, Page. Guys, let me tell you guys something. Think how sobering this is. Open your ears for a second. Listen to what I'm saying here. We shouldn't know who these people are. We shouldn't know who Lisa Page is. We shouldn't know who Strozoke is. We shouldn't know who Bruce Orr is. We shouldn't know who that Still character is. Carter Page. We shouldn't know none of these people. But we do. And so since we're living in an alternate reality to where the people that have their hands on the power, this precious power of intelligence, so sensitive, since we chose the dark path, like Superman, they got the good Superman, the dark Superman, he has like dark clothes. You look at Back to the Future. I'm going to lace you guys today because I'm a talk show host. I am more than just that. I'm like no other because the perspective I'm going to bring to you guys, we're going to have a lot of fun. And I'm sure you guys' feedback through emails is going to be impactful too. But let's talk about Back to the Future. Remember the second one, he comes back and he goes and he changes something and he goes back to 1985 and it's all different. Biff is running the place. Biff is mega wealthy. Biff is mega rich. And so it's kind of like that. Two alternate universes. Well, they chose to be corrupt, dirty cops. Can I say that? I think I'm going to say that. They chose to be corrupt, dirty cops. And so now we know who their names are. It's almost like when people, say their name. All of these damn athletes should be saying their names. In fact, they should be saying to everybody in America, why are we saying or knowing their names? Why do we know who Mueller is? You guys remember these idiots, these moonbats out there? I mean, they were out in full-fledged mode. Oh, we love Mueller. We love Mueller. When they thought they had the goods, they just knew we gotta get him. When are we gonna get him? It never happened. 2020. President Trump is still here. Kicking much booty still. But it says here, records obtained and published by the Judicial Watch on Friday, and boy, they do some good work. Judicial Watch are right on point. Tom Fitton and those guys, fantastic. Friday's show that senior members of the special counsel Robert Mueller's team repeatedly and accidentally wiped data off phones assigned to them, according to the conservative watchdog group. It says Judicial Watch obtained 87 pages from the DOJ in response to a September 19th Freedom Information Act lawsuit. The DOJ and the FBI for a December 17, 2018 request for all records related to the hardware, software, and content of mobile phones issued to the FBI officials, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and their use while they served an investigative team of the counsel of Robert Mueller. All records, communication, whether governmental or non-governmental emails, accounts, or whether using real names or aliases, the FBI officials relating to the hardware, software, and content of the mobile phones issued to the FBI officials, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, for their use while they served on the investigative team of Special Counsel Robert Mueller. According to the records that Judicial Watch received, 27 phones used by members of the special counsel team were reported and wiped clean of all data. Listen, guys, 2 pieces of law. One law for you guys, you law-abiding citizens, and there's a law for Hillary Clinton's and the Muellers of the world. Listen, guys, it's very dangerous. This has been going on for a long time under the American people's noses. Okay, so it says here, they wiped all of the 27 phones used by the members. They wiped them clean of all their data to review by the special counsel of phones used by Mueller's team. You remember when the IG was coming through, he need the information. It says 20 of those phones were reported wiped clean of data due to accidental wipe, often from entering the wrong password too many times. BS. Guys, you know, remember The Rock used to, he had this little vintage thing he would say, he coined, "Can you smell what The Rock is cooking?" I smell what the hell they're cooking, and it doesn't smell good. And you guys should be pretty upset because they're trying to pull the wool. In fact, they pull the wool over you guys' eyes. You have Hollywood. They're all excited over Robert Mueller. He's going to get Trump. Oh, the smoking gun. Oh, it's the end of Trump. How many times have you guys heard that? Over and over again. The reason why I spend the lion's share of this on this, ladies and gentlemen, is because this stuff is important. These things are national security risk. Okay? A national security risk to your privacy, to your constitutional right, to your Bill of Rights that protects you. Okay? Got to think about these things. Anyways, go check that over at Breitbart. And this guy's going to be fired up, man. I tell you. Also, I got here in my notes here. Bet on the in question mark. And I said, you write something down. It's like, bet on the what? Why did I write that down for? Why did I write that? And then you're walking in the kitchen to go do the dishes. You're running the water. The bubbles will start to fill up. Oh, and you get it. And then you remember you committed to memory. But bet on the, and I'm going to get to the in a minute. Yes, indeed. I believe the stalwarts, these Democrats of that party, we have a vice presidential candidate and a senator that's running for vice president, their running mate. Definitely they're going to side with justice, right? They're definitely going to side with common sense, rational thinking, kind of like Vulcanians, right? Is that a word? Vulcans? They're definitely going to lean to the side of waiting for more information to come out in anything. We had a shooting just into Kenosha here a couple weeks ago. And so things are still brewing. The gentleman with the bag over his head, that guy dies of asphyxiation, they say. Still got to wait for the information to come out, right? Before rushing to judgment, yes? That's what we do. We wait for that stuff to come out. We don't jump off the fence. We wait. For all of you waiting on bated breath, you failed epically. Due to the Black Lives No Matter epidemic that's brewing in this country, is burning out of control in the United States of America. It's more expedient for, these opportunistic cowards, for their response, their cowardly response, doomed to be buried in history books when judged as being self-serving, hyper-hypocritical. These guys are. All of them are. All these lefties. Never being able to erase the stigma that will be attached to their name for all millennia. Except for when it comes to conservatives, or Americans that, that love their history. They'll change and claw at that. They'll claw at that beautiful Constitution. Just like that cat named Precious, right? Who hasn't been taught that clawing at that $8,000 couch isn't a smart move? Now you have 9 lives. Anyways, brim tilt to rear clear politics. Democrats, they're on the wrong side of history all the time. And I said the other day, they're always on the wrong side. They don't fail some of the times. They're always on the wrong side. And I feel so bad for them sometimes. I feel bad for this reason. Here's a couple reasons I feel bad. I feel bad because we're going to crush them horribly. I feel bad because their brains are filled with stuff that floats around in there, and it just doesn't make, it's not a brain though. I don't know what it is. I feel bad for them because when it comes down to debating, they rather tuck tail and run. I feel bad for them because their view of this country is so distorted, and they want it to be a third world hellhole only if they obtain and keep power. That's a moment of silence for you. Over at Rear Clear Politics, the Democrats pick the criminal. On August 21st, the 29-year-old Jacob Blake, a black man, was shot 7 times in the back by a white police officer. Back in the 50s, you didn't hear this type of... Guys, this is propaganda and rhetoric. Okay? I don't care what color the guy is. If you're not complying with the police officer, if you're not complying, he wants to go home to his family too. These people are out of their mind. Anyways, he was shot 7 times in the back by a white police officer. The original video, which only included the last moments of incidents, you notice that's how it works. The media gives us a little snapshot of something and say, this is what you're going to believe. This is what you go on. Shut up and be quiet. Absolutely, that's what happens. Okay? That's what happens. So they give you a little sliver. Same thing with the George Floyd tape. Okay? You got Keith Ellis over there in Minnesota holding information back, holding more tape back. And now you see, because of that reason, they're fighting to get this cop that they are attempting to give the death penalty to wrongly off of this charge. Okay, I still believe he acted somewhat negligently, but I don't believe, my belief is he died from drugs. Has a big part of that. According to the Police Association, the police were called to the scene by a black woman who had dialed 911 and reported that Blake was attempting to steal her keys to her car. There was an open warrant on Blake for 3rd-degree felony sexual assault. And we're out here parading in the streets making this guy out of a hero. Let me rewind the tape. Right? 3rd-degree felony sexual assault. That could be your sister. That could be your cousin. Guys, look, lefties, use your brain. Okay? Use your brain. It's got to be in there somewhere. Like that little bit of the plant starts to grow and you see a little sprout right there. It has to be something in there. Or the little engine that could. I know I can. Come on. You guys all sing in unison. But sexual assault. The alleged victim is the woman who dialed 911, and she apparently had a restraining order against Blake. Why was he there? Okay, if he abides by the restraining order, we're not having this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. America, we are more focused on probably the football game that's not as politicized as the woke BA. We're focusing on taking walks in the park. We're focusing on having tea and crumpets. If we're across the pond, we'd be focusing on other things is what I'm saying. But we're focusing on this BS. Okay? Anyways. But she alleged that Blake entered the room where she was sleeping near one of her children, thrust his finger into her vagina, pulled it out, smelled it and said, "Smells like you've been with other men." The alleged victim also said that Blake sexually assaults her approximately twice a year. This woman is a prisoner in her own house, in her own body, to where someone comes and does whatever he wants to do to her. Imagine yourself being in that position. And we're out here parading this guy, having protests, riots, having protests, burn down that building, having protests, knock that guy out, having protests out there peacefully. Why is that fire burning? Lies over this guy? Guys, over this guy. So I look at this. And upon the arrival of the scene, the police attempted to effectuate an arrest. Blake resisted. Apparently, he got one of the officers in a headlock. See, guys? See? Are they talking about that when they're out there rioting? And resisted 2 separate uses of a stun gun. He then disobeyed officer's command. And guys, don't be surprised this guy wasn't on some type of drugs. 2 stun guns. He walked around to the driver's side of the SUV. You guys seen the video. Reached inside. A knife was found on the driver's floorboard. Okay, as an officer, I don't know what he's reaching for. The cop is trying to plead with him. Stop, please, sir. Dragging him. And he's dragging the cop. And so this is what we get. Aren't you guys tired of this garbage? So, brim tilt to Real Clear Politics for exposing these frauds. Okay? But Joe Biden and them, they pick the loser. They pick the criminal. It says down here that on September 2nd, Biden said that he thought the police officers in Blake's shooting should be charged, adding, let's make sure justice is done. Harris, whose judgment on these matters ought to be doubted, given her conviction that Michael Brown was murdered. You guys remember that hands up, don't shoot? The Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh was a probable rapist, agreed that the officer should be charged. Hear this out, guys. She thought that a man who has an esteemed career, been a justice for many, many years, sits now actively on the Supreme Court. She believes he's a rapist. But the guy who's actually accused of rape and sexual assault, I mean multiple times, you go to his defense. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if this doesn't get your goat, I don't know what does. This is bizarre wool. Okay? But she says he should be charged. And you guys remember what I said a couple weeks ago. Oh, well, they should investigate more, but no, I think he should be charged. Mrs. Prosecutor. But Biden and Harris didn't stop there. Biden traveled to Kenosha after Trump went. Remember Trump went to Kenosha and people showed up for Trump there? No one showed up for Biden there. And it's so funny because they're trying to keep up this whole mask thing going, right? Everybody goes, that's real men wear masks. Hey, put that mask on your face, Joe. Put your mask on your face. Oh, and you're talking, you sound like this when you're talking, right? What the hell are you saying to me? Take the mask off your face and talk to me, okay? But they're keeping this narrative up to try to stoke fear. But you American people, you guys are so smart, most of you, and brilliant that you guys are not buying the crap that they're peddling. But he went to Kenosha, met with Blake's family, and his dad, from what I'm hearing, is an anti-Semite. Biden got on the phone with Blake, who was handcuffed to a hospital bed since he is currently under arrest, and quoted the book of Psalms, adding that nothing is going to defeat Blake. Harris went on farther, telling that Blake was proud of him, that she was proud of him, and saying that Blake's family is incredible, an amazing description of a family wherein the son is an alleged rapist, the father is an open anti-Semite, according to public social media posts. Guys, I don't have to say anything else about that. They pick the criminal. So when you guys go to the polls and you're about to vote, think about who they're picking. The person that just assaulted your daughter, the person that just assaulted your wife, the person that just assaulted the lady that lives next door. But she's a nice lady in this country. She pays her bills. She minds her business. She does, she goes, does what she has to do. He did that to her. And that's something to think about. That's something to think about. So he went over to Kenosha, Biden did. And there's an article over at thefederalist.com. Brim tilt to them. If Kenosha is any indication, Trump will win Wisconsin. Let me read that again. If Kenosha is any indication, Trump will win Wisconsin. First of all, when Trump showed up, people showed up. You know how they used to say, build it and they will come? Trump then built this. He drops the microphone and they show up. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, look, guys, I'm not a special pleader for the president. I don't play baseball, but I'm going to call balls and strikes here on our show. And so if you got a problem, I'll have it pretty soon here in the future. You guys will be able to call me and we can go fisticuffs. Me and you, righty and lefty. Okay? Awesome. Who knows what the 2020 election will bring? But after surveying Kenosha, I'm convinced Trump won't lose Wisconsin. If there is a betting woman, I'd say he won't lose the White House. He doesn't seem well. In fact, he sounds exactly like every person I've encountered on their deathbed. These thoughts ran through my mind Thursday while I watched Joe Biden breathlessly address Kenosha community leaders through a surgical mask. Ladies and gentlemen, I will attempt to present what I will call Joe Biden with a surgical mask on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to glad to have you guys here, and we're gonna win this election, and that's what it is. Addressing through that surgical mask. Aside from the former vice president's extortionate call to action, if you don't vote for him, racism and riots will reign forever. My primary takeaway from his remarks was Biden is the weakest and least inspiring candidate I've ever seen. And I agree. This was quite a contrast from the energy I felt pulsing through Kenosha as I walked the glass-littered streets the day President Trump came to town. Trump can't win. Can he? Sometime around the second month of the pandemic, I made my peace with Biden's presidency. There was no way Trump could win. It seemed. With all the death toll rising, you guys remember that, right? Businesses closing, you guys remember that, right? The economy tanking, you guys remember that, right? Things weren't looking too good. And for a second, you guys would be like, oh man, you guys are worried for the president. But things seem to ebb and flow. There are ups and downs, lefts and rights in life, and also a candidacy. When you're running a campaign, there's ups and downs. It's like a boxing match. And the economy was tanking. Things weren't looking good for the incumbent. The Democrats willed unrivaled power in our major institutions, controlling all of them, save for some churches, including media, education, and entertainment. The second-term victory for Trump seemed impossible, but the administration come and go. Unlike many prominent Democrats who've thrown four-year tantrums since 2016, most people realize presidential elections aren't the end of the world. Would it be a bummer if Biden sealed the deal? Sure, but it would be fine. We would survive without an embittered "not my president" campaign. Yeah, we wouldn't have to do that. Good piece over there, but she's talking about the energy that Trump brings everywhere he goes. It's undeniable. I want the president that's going to be lively. I want a president that's going to love the country I live. Is there any wars going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen? Think about that. We're living in peacetime. We are experiencing, looks like a V-shaped recovery in the economy. Jobs are being created, and we're on the move. The pandemic is calming down. We're beating it back, and there's not even a vaccine yet. So America is strong, despite of what those liars want to tell you out there. I'm going to beat the drum and tell it real. Tell it real. I'll be right back.
Oh, don't speak to me. I don't wanna know. Oh, don't speak to me. I don't wanna know. Oh, there's always been something about the way you say my name. It holds me up. It sets me back and forth again. There's always been something about the way you're not quite there and still you're everywhere. My messy mind has ever been. Oh, don't speak to me. I don't wanna know. Oh, don't speak to me. I don't wanna know. Oh, there's always been something about the way I look around. I'm never satisfied. When life is good, I'm looking down. There's always been something about the way I try so hard and still don't give a shit. Too slow to win, too mad to quit.
Welcome back, everybody. We are still moving and grooving, and we are having a fantastic time. Would rather be nowhere else but spending time with you guys here on the waves, and educating and teaching and also spreading truth every single day, guarding the Constitution with a sword and shield, and the armor of God, no doubt about it. Alongside with the Black Lives No Matter movement going on, and we have the special privileged snowflakes that have a meltdown of epic proportions if you say something that they don't believe or against their thinking, their unrational thinking. It's crazy what's going on out there. Well, I want to talk about Snow White a little bit today on this glorious Sunday morning. Permit me to tell you a story, if you don't mind. I believe you heard about Snow White. At least you heard of it before, right? Well, you heard the title. Yeah, the title. Okay, yeah. Well, Snow White is in full effect. But there's a few subtle changes here. You know, there are no seven dwarfs. Okay, she's not wearing a beautiful dress. Neither is she living in a kingdom far away. You know, she's not enchanted. You know, she doesn't sparkle when she steps in the sun, kind of like a vampire. No, she's not there. She's living right here in the U.S. of A. You know, and she has this entitled, she's pushing this racist agenda because now she's been woke and she realized that her past grievances, she's working to be the best, to me, BLNM representative. The reason why I call her Snow White, though, is because she is this 1,000-watt, soft white light bulb in contrast to the BLNM movement. You know, you got that right? She sticks out like a sore thumb. She's like, if you have a bowl full of pepper and you drop that speck of salt in there, that's her. She's right there. Okay? And she talks about the past racism in this country. And I'm going to play a couple of clips because there's a couple of moon bats that are out in the moon is full today. And they can see it. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. The moon is out. But this is a problem in our country. The whole country. Black Lives No Matter movement. Hey, let me tell you guys what. You guys have a serious problem. Cut number 1. I'm going to show you guys what these young people are thinking about our country and how they talk about our country and why I say we got work to do. Cut 1.
During Pride Month for many obvious reasons, and America sucks right now. And honestly, if you support it and choose to wear red, white, and blue,
you're
and
supporting
be patriotic,
Trump, racism, literally.
You're supporting all of that, and it's disgusting, and you shouldn't. So don't wear red, white, and blue on 4th of July. Wear rainbow.
Yes. We want this everyone to wear it. We don't want to see red, white, and blue posts. Like I don't want to see those Independence Day captions. I don't.
Caption your posts, hashtag all countries matter on 4th of July.
Yes.
I want to see
rainbow flags on cheeks.
Seeing everyone wearing rainbows and captions with hashtag all countries.
And that's how you start to replace your history. Let's trade off one flag for another. We're not playing marbles in the playground. Oh, I like that blue one. Oh, it reminds me of the earth. Can I trade this one? Look at this milky colored one. We're playing with people's lives. These morons coming out of these schools, the education system is failed big time on a level that I can't even begin to discuss right now. And this is what they're producing. And they'll get older and they'll run for office and they'll be peppered in these news stations and they'll push propaganda and they'll destroy any country. This is the locust generation. The next clip I have. It's Snow White herself. These were some of her friends. Heather and Becky and Amy, you know, they came to hang out for a minute right here in the U.S. And you hear their point of view, right? Well, we want to hear Snow White's point of view too. Her little 1,000-watt light bulb self. It's amazing because she can tell a black man about himself even though she's white. I'm confused. Cut number 2, please.
I have a question for you. You're white and you're telling this to 2 black police officers.
Yeah.
Do you see the problem with that a little bit?
No, I don't, because, you know know what? Just because I'm white and I haven't experienced racism myself doesn't mean I can't fight for justice.
Hold on.
They're a part of
Snow White is attempting to tell you why she has been activated as a social justice warrior. She's going to tell you and force it down your throat that her view, her opinion is the only thing that matters, and the reason why she's out here is because these guys are racist. From the top, please. Again.
I have a question for you. You're white and you're telling this to two black police officers.
Yeah.
Do you see the problem with that a little bit?
No, I don't, because you know what? Just because I'm white and I haven't experienced racism myself doesn't mean I can't fight for justice. They're a part of the system. They're a part of the problem. Just because they're black doesn't mean they're not a part of the problem. I'm allowed to say this to whoever. Because I'm white, racism is a white person's problem. Racism is my problem. I need to fix it. That's why I'm here talking to all of them. Black, white, fucking brown, purple.
And she's off the hinges. She is unglued. She is unhinged. Not like this show. She's a mental patient. Okay? She's the type to be licking walls when nobody's looking. All right? Here's the problem with that. If it's your problem, how about you peacefully go and work out your problem somewhere else away from the American public to where we don't have to look at it? Like in a padded room. And you have a nice little vest on that's white. And there's all types of little buckles on it. Yes, Snow White, you have an issue. And you're part of the problem. The cops, because he's black, he takes care of his family. He's not part of the problem. The little vanilla princess makes her debut. Why do we need to fix it? Your guilt over the past that she's never seen. She's never experienced it. In 2020, there you go. She's right there. She's never experienced oppression or slavery. She's never experienced the time of segregation or never been held back because where she went to school or had to go to school at. You got these little beauties out. What a beauty. She is an absolute beauty. Okay? And I'm not talking about physically because you can't see her face because of the mask. All right? But they haven't experienced anything. And for some reason, they have to make atonement for it. It's the craziest thing ever. I don't understand it. And I have a wonderful encounter with a young lady the other day while I was working, and she was the most pleasant lady to speak to. I hipped her to our show, and because I told her it's our show. But she told me she didn't realize that she had a problem with racism. She had no clue that she was a racist, but that's what the media is telling her. In the media, the academia, the political complex, they've surrounded our kids in producing this crap. And we've been asleep at the wheel. Our fault. Shame on us. Like that Greta Thunberg lady. How dare you? Shame on you. And realistically, little Becky out there, she should be prideful about her white Caucasian heritage. Embracing her culture, which makes the salad of this bowl of the experiment in the United States of America appreciative. We should appreciate this. Our differences. So anyways. That's enough on little Becky there. I just had to get that bee out of my bonnet because she's a part of the Black Lives Matter problem. And we're going to get deep off into them too. We're going to put them in the scope under a target. And put your seatbelt on, everybody. Because in America, we know the good guys. You guys are tired of this garbage, aren't you? Huh? You got to be tired of it. You have to be. Because I am. It's a bad deal. But I want to put a challenge to the blacks out there. Okay? Black people, rough hair, black power noses, like Michael Jackson used to look back in the day. Wow, didn't that guy look way different once he died? He had the strong fro, you know what I mean? I remember watching him in The Wiz back when I was younger. Get on down the road. He was happy singing the song, eating an ice cream cone. And then you see him like 30 years later, you're like, what the hell happened here? He don't even sing the song no more. He went down the road and came back different. Be like, who's this? I'm Michael Jackson. No, you're not. You're a clown, But rest in peace, Michael. Michael was absolutely a phenomenal performer. No doubt about it. So I'm not going to take anything from him. But you blacks, I have a challenge for you guys. You're curious, right? If I came up to you and asked you this question here, because I'm going to turn the table on you guys. Let's put the mirror and put it in your face. If I came up to you and said, are you a racist? Or if I came up to you and said, are you a bigot? and I said like, are you a racist? I wouldn't say, oh, you come to James, be like, hey, James, are you a racist? No, you got to say it the right way with the right type of passion. Are you a racist? Are you a bigot? Do you hate white people? What do you think most people's response is going to be? They'll be offended, right? If I ask these questions, because in most cases, mixed people, Caucasians, other races, they accuse the president of the same thing, of being a racist. And, don't get ahead of yourself. I'll get to those other guys in a minute. But, turn on the Communist News Network and you see them, all the alphabet soup guys. You eat them, you see them out there, it turns your stomach sour, day in and day out. Every single word chatted about Donald Trump. The labels attached to him. Racist. Black people, via the mainstream media complex, low information thinkers, continually mouthing off words that they embrace and import to their viewers, their circular lies of the myth. And this is stuff that they spout off of what I see. America was built on racism. 2, our forefathers were all murderers. 3, our forefathers owned slaves. They were slave owners. 4, America will never be great as long as whites are in control. Well, guys, you see, you see what other people do that run this country or try to run the country. They can't, they tear it down. It's now time for the ultimate change to socialism, they say. But back on track, all these hate-filled people for America, the disdain, the dislike for their fellow man that doesn't agree with them, the vehement molten nails that they try to put in the coffins, raging hatred for Donald Trump, Donald J. Trump. It's mega unbelievable. It's in unbelievable proportions. And how does it start? It starts with one lie. That whole Russia thing, how did that start? How did it get out of control? How did it get out to the public? It didn't happen until James Creepy, Crafty Comey approached the president with that salacious false information. But even then, the machine, it stepped up his game. It stepped up to try to get Trump off the tracks. It was in motion from before he was there. So my challenge to every black man and black woman, they're included too. But I mainly focus on the black man for these reasons. The black man, in most cases, he's the head of the household. He should be. Designed by God. You can't refute that. And I'm not trying to represent just one race. This is something I'm focusing on, so don't email me talking trash about that garbage. This is serious here. Okay? So, since black men are on the forefront, or the so-called, the killings, people try to say, we should deal with them first. For safe keep, keep them safe. 2, the homes that have no father in them. The children that come out of those homes. The young men, they at a higher percentage, they end up failing. This is facts, not a myth. 3, black men and great masses has so much more that they can contribute to society. I believe this. In this country, black men, they have so many strengths that they can utilize to make the country and us stronger. 4, black men, you're the protector of your wives. You protect your children. You are the provider of your children, who are 20 years at best away from taking care of themselves. And still after 20, they still need you. Okay? And 6, you're our target because you guys are the ones doing the majority of the crime. Honestly, guys, you guys doing the crime. Majority of the resisting arrests, the majority of the trying to take the police officers' weapons, the majority of killing each other, other words, look at Chicago, the majority of having attitudes saying that you will never work for a white man, right? And I'm not here trying to preach to you guys like I'm preaching from a position of non-experience. The reason why I say this, and I can say this, is because that was me. Ignorance is not bliss, neither is stupidity. So my challenge to all you blacks that are highly supporting the BLNM movement, you guys, you have to understand that someone has to stand in the front line because our babies, they have to live in this country too. What we do right now will determine what this country looks like 20 years from now. It's true. It is a time-release pill, ladies and gentlemen. Don't doubt me on this one either. We could be creating a generational disaster right now. Okay? And it won't show itself for 10, 15, 20 years. By then, my youngest baby will be about 21, 22 years old. Just beginning his life. I don't think so, Americans. But my challenge to you is loaded in this question like a loaded potato. My message to you, do your research, please, on the issues that affect us, on this president, on why he does what he does, and what he's accomplished. Please do your research. That's my challenge to you, black man. And what he wants to do for America in his next term, once he's elected again. And the last thing, Trump is a racist. You black men, you have to get over this hurdle because it just isn't true. I want you to dig deep, dig hard, look hard, investigate on the internet, do your searches, get all the facts, okay? And don't go to that doctored or fake news crap, which is eating this country alive like a wildfire. And please, don't bring up Charlottesville. Don't bring that up. But no, in fact, bring it up. I want you guys to bring it up. The non-biased source like Fox News, look at them. Look at the whole video. The date, read his lips verbatim, and you will come up with the facts. Trust me, if you believe in yourself and you believe in the country, you will come up with the right facts. But Joe Biden, we have a different view, a different history of bigotry and racist comments and things and hurtful things he's said as well. But, he's this golden calf, but we talk about Joe, he's a golden holy calf. He reminds me of an unholy weakened calf. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to make it brief, okay? And I can say about the research on Joe Biden. The comments, his bigoted statements, you'll hit a home run with a beauty like that one. And, you got LeBron James trying to pull him over the finish line. Yeah, we really need your help. I haven't watched the game yet. All these deluded black men in this cake batter of weakness and wickedness. It's important to our country that we can find the facts, the right facts out there. And that's what journalism used to do. Okay? Because let me tell you what Joe Biden didn't do. He did say when he was talking about Charlemagne the God, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Those are his words, not my words. He didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle because he was for segregation. He truly was. Okay? He voted with with Robert KKK Byrd. That's just a fact, ladies and gentlemen. And so we have issues that we have to deal with in this country. And if we don't get them under control, you know what happens. But I believe and trust that God is working in country. He's working in all our Americans, and we have the best on the planet. That's what I got to say about that. And so that's all I got for you this Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. It was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic being with you guys. I am looking forward to another glorious Sunday. Next week, we're going to be batter up and we're going to do more damage to mediocrity. Thank you for joining us here on The American's Voice. Have a great, great day and a blessed week. See you then.